Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel is Making with Marilyn. Now I do all things crafty, but on today's video, I'm going to show you how I made these bling t-shirts. So here's one that I made, and that one is for me, and then I made this one for a friend. Now I showed you making these shirts a couple weeks ago on a live, and during that and shortly after that, I sent the template out to anyone who requested it. Then on my next rhinestone video, I showed you how to design the template. Well, today I'm going to go ahead and make this pink shirt on this video, and then I wanted you to know I'm selling this template now and it's in an Etsy store. So I'll link to that in the video description. So if you want to see how I made this shirt, whether you make your template yourself or you get it off of Etsy, keep watching the video. The shirt that I'm going to use in this video, it's a really pretty, kind of a purpley pink shirt, and I just got this at Dollar General. It's a Gildan brand, a V-neck, and it's one of those soft styles. Then for the rhinestones, I'm going to use this light cyan. These are AB coated, so they have that beautiful iridescent feature to them. And these are some rhinestones that I got from the baby's booty. Now I've designed this template. I have a video on designing it. Since then, I perfected it just a little bit. I'm going to cut it out of this rhinestone flock. I'll also cut the word squad out of some HTV. And once the flock is cut, I'll brush rhinestones into the template. I'll pick them up with some hot fix tape and then I'll transfer them to the shirt and press them on. Now, like I said, I have a prior video where I showed making this template. I will link to that in the video description, or if you're interested in purchasing this template, I have it on my Etsy shop and I'll link that in the video description. So let's jump over to the computer and I'll show you how to use this template. I'm in Cricut Design Space and I'm going to say upload image. Then I'm going to go ahead and browse. The template's on my desktop. I'll find it, I'll bring it in, and then I'll explain it. All right, so here's my template. It says Bling Squad, and I can tell this is the right one because it says edited. Notice that I have the size of my template in the title. That just helps me when I take it into Cricut Design Space to know how to resize it to get it back to the right size. As you might know, when you take things into Cricut, it often resizes them. Sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're big. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Notice it's supposed to be 9.302 inches wide. Let's go ahead and take it into Cricut. And then it's already in SVG, so all I have to do is say upload. Here it is, so I'll click on it and I'll say add to canvas. Okay, so remember, it was supposed to come in at 9.302 and it came in at over 12. So I'll resize it with the proportions locked to 9.302. Then when I hit the enter, if this works correctly, the height is going to be about 6.875. So let's see what happens. Okay, and it did. It came in perfectly. So now what I need to do is I need to ungroup this because right now my template and my squad is all in one. So I'll say ungroup. Then I can just drag this down and it's going to be HTV. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it horizontally because that's what you do with most HTVs. That way I don't have to remember to do that when I cut it. All right, so it's that easy. I'm ready to go ahead and cut this. So let's say make it. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the bling. Let me move this down some, move it over. I want it kind of centered on my flock. Then I'll say continue. Now I have a custom setting in here for rhinestone flock. So let me go ahead and type in rhinestone. And here it is. So far I've been cutting this without the backing on it. And so I've been using a pressure of 340, single cut, and the fine point blade. So I'll click on that. I'll say done. Now I'm ready to cut. Now after I cut my bling, I'll go back. I'll cut Squad. I'll cut that out of HTV. Now, I'm probably not going to show that part because it's just HTV. It's very boring, but I will show you part of this bling being cut. So here's our template. Let's see how well this came out. Now, for the first time ever the other day, I had a perfect template. I had to borrow a Cricut from a friend of mine because mine just wasn't getting the job done. It was leaving each hole just barely attached. It didn't matter if I changed the pressure, really nothing worked. Now this is how it's supposed to happen. Look at how good this cut is. Now, if you're wondering how I get those off my mat, here's all I do. I take my little scraper tool and I scrape them off. And it's really not that hard to do. Now to store this template, I'm going to go ahead and put it on a chopping mat that you can get at the Dollar Tree store. You get 2 of these in a package. And each time I use this template, I can just leave it right here on this backing. I'm going to leave just a little bit of excess room down here. That way, if I want to tape it down to anything so it doesn't move around, I have a little bit of room for tape. And then I'll cut off the excess chopping mat and save it for another smaller template. Okay, now that my template's ready, let's go ahead and put some rhinestones on here. What I want to do is, I'm just going to put some in the lid of my container. I always use too many. And I have them just kind of piled up on there. I'm going to use this little trim brush. Now I did order a larger one off of Amazon, so I'll soon be using that. And then I'm just going to go in circular motions. When you do this, your rhinestones fall down into place into those holes, and then you can brush the excess ones off. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull them straight down. Now when I'm doing this, I'm not putting a lot of weight on the rhinestones, just enough to brush the excess ones off. Okay, so I'll go ahead and move those over. Start with the L. Now, if you watch me, you've seen me do rhinestone templates out of cardstock, and I use a glitter cardstock. It's really thick. That does work also. Your stones do fall into place in the flock a little bit faster, but the glitter cardstock definitely works. So if you want to save money, you don't want to wait on ordering some of this flock, get a piece of cardstock or two, the glitter, try it out, see if you like it before you spend a lot of money on it. If you do, use that. If not, you can order some of this rhinestone flock. Now there's so many colors in this light cyan AB, so it's kind of hard to tell where there's still a hole in the flock, where you might have one upside down, or if you've done it just right. So I'm just looking for extra ones that I need to just take off. I'm looking for ones that are upside down. Now here's an example right here. Here's one that's upside down, so I'm just going to take it out, flip it over, and put it right back. Then I can see that I'm missing one in my L. I'm missing one in my I. Looks like I'm missing a couple in my N. And I think I'm missing 3 in my G. Now, after I put these in place, I'll take a minute to really look at it. I want to inspect it really well. Then once I'm convinced that I have them all correct, we'll pick them up with the hot fix tape. All right, I see a spare one or an extra one. Okay, so I think I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and just get these excess rhinestones out of the way. You don't want to accidentally pick some up with your hot fix tape. Now I reuse my hot fix tape, and hopefully this is large enough. I'm pretty sure it is. And I don't really like it to be larger than my flock or my glitter cardstock because I don't want it stuck down to the table. But I'm just going to put this above, and I'm barely holding on the sides. Fold it up just a little bit, not quite taco, but in a taco style. Then once you start dropping it, you just have to commit. If you grab some and pick them up, you're going to mess them all up. Okay, then I like to just push down on them, straight down. Then I tend to like to put something over the stones so that I'm not really pushing down in between the stones, but you don't have to do it this way. And then sometimes I'll use a brayer. Now the hot fix tape I'm using is used, so it's not going to be quite as sticky. So I really need to take some time to make sure that my rhinestones are adhered to my hot fix tape. Then I'm just going to take a corner and slowly I'm going to peel that back. If I see a stone didn't come up, they are all coming up, but if you saw one that didn't, you'd put it down, press where the stone is, and pull it back up. Then all I'm going to do is lay this over on its front, being careful that I don't let the two backsides touch each other, or then you'll just have a big old mess. Then until I'm ready to use this, I'm going to go ahead and put it down on a Teflon sheet, because the hot fix tape doesn't really stick to the Teflon sheet. It'll be easy to pull back up. Now I know it's really glaring, but that is gorgeous. That is going to be so pretty on that pink shirt. All right, I have to apologize because I thought I was filming part of this and I wasn't, but let me show you. And we all know tonight's really about the rhinestones anyway, but here's my HTV. It's the word squad, and I was almost done weeding it when I realized I wasn't recording. Now here's the HTV that I used. I got this off of Amazon. You can see it's 25 feet long. It really wasn't very expensive, and I really hope they still carry this because I want to order another roll of it. When I get an HTV, I tend to put a label on it or write on it and just give myself the instructions so I don't have to look those up online each time. Now for this one, I'm going to preheat for 2 to 3 seconds, press it at 300 for 10 to 15, and then it's a cold peel. So let me go ahead and finish weeding this. All right, so just like usual, when I think I'm done weeding, I turn it over, I look at it really closely and make sure that I really am. Okay, so while this is heating up, I'm going to go ahead and pre-press my shirt. I want to make it really smooth, plus I want to get any moisture out. Now my press isn't very hot yet, so I'll leave that under about 15 seconds. So I have 2 layers. I have my thicker bling, and then I have my HTV that's thinner, so I need to press it first. but I don't know where to press it without lining it up with my rhinestone. So that's what I'll do first. Then holding Squad down, I'm going to pull the rhinestone design out from under it. Again, the HTV is thinner, so I need to do it first. If I wait and do it after I press the rhinestones, my press isn't going to make great contact with the HTV. Now, I made the mistake of setting my heat press for the rhinestones, and the HTV takes less heat. So I've reset that down to 300, and then I'm going to have to let it cool down before I press the HTV. Okay, I went ahead and just turned my heat press off for a few minutes. It's down to 306. I think that'll be fine. So I'm just pressing this HTV for 15 seconds. Now this is a cold peel, so I have to use some patience here. Then with HTV, I like to do a second press. Cover it with a Teflon sheet and then just press it for about 5 seconds. Okay, now it's time to turn my press back up to 350, and when I press the rhinestones, I'm going to press them 12 seconds. So while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and get my rhinestone template set where I want it. Now to protect my HTV, I'm going to put a Teflon sheet over it, and then I'm going to sneak this Teflon sheet up under the bottom of this transfer tape. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull this transfer tape off, or the hot fix tape, immediately. All right, let's take one final look at this shirt. I love it. I absolutely love it. I really love this tone-on-tone look. So they are light cyan AB, but they have pinks and reds and purples. They have so many colors that are really kind of like this color. But yet they really stand out so beautifully. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment section. And then if you haven't subscribed yet, run over there, subscribe, then click the bell, select the all notifications so that YouTube lets you know anytime I upload new content. Thanks again for joining me, and until my next video, bye-bye.